Hi, everybody. How are you today? I'm so happy to be joining you this Tuesday, or at least it's Tuesday afternoon for me. This is our weekly challenge, and I am really excited to get started today, as always. But a few things before we begin. First of all, if you're new here, welcome. I'm happy to have you in my crafting space today, and hopefully you'll see something that inspires you to get crafty on your own time. And if you would like to join in the challenge, all you have to do is share a project with the hashtag Altenew Challenge Live throughout this next coming week. And then next week on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be back and I will highlight one of the participants, and that person will win a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store. And if you would not like to make a project, or maybe you don't have time to make a project, or maybe you've got a million other projects to make, but you still want to play along and have a chance to win, all you need to do is share this live stream while we're live, and you'll be automatically entered to win a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store, as long as you pop in the comments and say I shared. So I'm seeing some of you shared already, and I'm going to give my hellos to not everybody who's here. I'm going to try my best, but I see Marcy is here, Kim is here, Brick by Brick is here, Kathy, Ciamara. Did I say Kim already? Maybe we have more than one Kim. A few more that I'm just scrolling quickly past. A lot of conversations between some of you. Tracy, I love seeing those conversations. And anybody else who I might have missed, welcome. I've got Mitzi behind the badge today, and she's going to be helping me out by popping in links in the comments, but she will also be able to answer some of your questions. So if you have anything that you want to know about, if I don't see it, hopefully she will be able to grab that as I am live. All right, so I see that a lot of you are enjoying some cold weather, maybe not enjoying some cold weather and snow. I know that much of the country got snow in the past few days. Here in Massachusetts, near the Boston area, we got maybe 2 feet. Schools were canceled yesterday and today. Fingers crossed, everything will be clear on the road and we can safely get to where we need to go tomorrow. But it's always fun to have a snow day, and it's been kind of cold, like bitterly cold, colder than we usually have, I think, when it snows. Typically, I find that when it snows, the temperatures are a little more mild, like high 20s, low 30s, but it's been colder than that, unfortunately. So I'm really hoping that we can also get some better weather coming our way. Although I hear there's a nor'easter coming, so who knows? And then I'm seeing a bunch of questions. Oh, questions about Altenew. Yeah, if you have Altenew questions, but if you just have like personal questions for Mitzi, you can also pop them in and I'm sure she'll answer them. I'm seeing Miss Blue is in Wakefield. Oh, that's close to where I am. So you guys got 22 inches. Yeah, I think it was about 2 feet for us as well. So it's been crazy as far as just, the storm throws everyone's routine off, but it's more crafting time. So that's a really wonderful silver lining that we all get to enjoy if you are in a part of the country where it is snowed in. So I am happy to be here, like I said, and showing you hopefully something that will inspire you so that you can also get creative. All right, let's talk about the last challenge, and then I'll show the winner of the last challenge. So we had the theme of Frame It Fabulous, and I did finish my card. So if you were at the live stream last week, maybe you saw me get this started, and then I finished it by doing the rest of the marker coloring in the background. And I inspired myself to do something new, right? You can inspire yourself. I don't use my artist markers a lot. I love them, but it's not my go-to coloring medium. So I was really excited to just get into them and do some simple, basic coloring. I think I was calling this like beginner coloring or easy level or something, just super beginner. This stamp set has a lot of detail in the stamped lines. So I feel like anytime you have a stamped image that has a lot of stamped detail, you can kind of get away with doing less on your coloring and it's still going to look great. And I had the framed outer edge framed by these flowers, and then the greeting is framed by this frame. All right, next up, we have our winner. So give me a moment just to share my screen. And yes, oh, Brick by Brick says they're go-to for coloring. I know a lot of you really are into marker coloring, and that is awesome because I want to keep working on it and hopefully get better at blending and using them in my day-to-day crafting. Okay, let's share. Okay. And let's see if you can see that now. I think that just popped up. So the winner for this week is, drumroll, Julie White Courier. So I really loved how Julie also incorporated two frames. There's a very thin gold outer frame around that edge. But then also I think it's cool how the flowers are coming around, like cascading around and framing that sentiment. And then just the embossing, the gold, the elegance. It's a very, very pretty, beautiful card. I think that would be great for all sorts of different occasions. So congrats there to Julie. Make sure you contact us and let us know that you were the winner of this challenge, and we will get that $15 gift certificate out to you. I did see quite a few new participants who are playing along this past week, and I really hope to see more. So if you haven't played with our challenge before, please, please, please give it a try. It is a very, very welcoming challenge. And I always remind everyone, you can submit a work in progress. You do not have to submit a final project as long as your work in progress fulfills the prompt. So last week's prompt was frame it fabulous. So as long as you had some kind of frame or framed element on your project, even if it's not done, you could still take a quick picture, submit it, use the hashtag Altenew Challenge Live, say, hey, I didn't have time to finish it this week, but here's what I've got so far. And you're still eligible to win. All right, so congrats to Julie. And now let's talk about this week's challenge. So this week we are doing a texture takeover. So this can be interpreted in many different ways. I love when the challenges have multiple interpretations because you can make it suit you and fit you. Oh, it's still showing me the half screen. There we go. So for the texture takeover, you want to incorporate texture into your project. I am going to be really wide open with what we consider texture. So die cuts, check, that's texture. Embossing folder, texture. Heat embossing, that's texture. We can do embossing paste, that's texture. I would even consider if you were saying like this stamp set has the texture of fabric on it, let's do it. As long as you can explain as you post what your texture is, if it's not completely obvious, so that I know, that's what we're doing today. So we're going to bring texture to our projects, and you don't have to create a card. I just pretty much always make cards because that's what I love creating. But anything that you want to make that you can incorporate texture in, please feel free to play along. All right, let me hop you down and we will get started. I'll show you some of the goodies that I have taken out so far. So one thing I have to show you is like a work in progress, my own work in progress. And I wanted to see about using the paste in an embossing folder. So not very long ago, maybe it was like 25 minutes ago, I applied some paste into the like recessed, the debossed areas of this embossing folder. And I am waiting for it to dry. If it doesn't dry before this live is over, then I'll try to show you next week. But it's a little experimental. I've seen people do this with like thicker bits of paste like this. This is just our shimmer relief paste. So I think this one will pop out and look cool. But here I just went over it just with a palette knife so that I want to see if I can have dainty little textured embellishments. Have you guys tried this? Is this going to work, or am I just setting myself up for a big mess that I have to clean up? Who knows? But this is the piped floral lace embossing folder. Oh my gosh, you are good, Mitzi. She put that in there before I even said it. You probably were able to read it, or you're just so good at recognizing what all of our products are just by a quick glance. But yes, this is the piped floral lace. So we will see. It's not dry yet, but I'm hoping once it's dry, these two little experiments will work out well. So that's maybe something that you can do for texture. Oh, I'm seeing Kathy saying that Nikki Baxley has a video doing this. All right, I'm going to have to check that out because like I said, I've seen a few people do it, but they're usually like thicker bits of embossing paste or shimmer relief paste. So we'll see. I'm all for experimenting. All right, so for today, I have an embossing folder. This is the Arched Foliage 3D embossing folder. I also have this die set. I think I've pulled this out the last like 3 or 4 lives. I just want to use it and I haven't used it yet. So maybe we'll use that. I also have the Blooming Hydrangea stamp and die set. I think this is a really great one because you add the texture with the die cuts, but they all kind of like layer on top of one another and it brings texture to that stamped image. So this is a possibility, but we'll see what we have time for. I think I'm just more excited to maybe get this garden swing, maybe use some shimmer relief paste on some of these die cuts to add more texture to them. So we'll have texture here, texture in the background, and we'll see where this goes. All right, let me just move over a few things that I realized I did not put away last time I crafted. Oh boy, I thought I've been so organized recently, you guys, and I'm getting all my craft room organization done, and I thought that also meant that I was going to be organized and clean, but I guess not. Excuse me. Okay. I'm going to get some white cardstock, and I did not pre-slice, so I'm just going to bring over just a paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut some A2, why did I say A4? A2 size pieces. And I think I'll use this for the background, either that or I might even use a colored background. What shall we do? Giselle says, hi from Brazil, and Altenew mail has arrived. That's great. That's very good to hear. Yeah, let's see. Do I want to use a colored background? Maybe like a light green. See, now this is where I second guess myself because I am a white cardstock fanatic. This is my go-to, a white background. But maybe, just maybe, yeah, let's do a color. All right, let me get a piece of green cardstock. Between the frayed leaf and the minty mint. Maybe the frayed leaf. I love the minty mint, but I think this might just look a little bit better for the look I'm going for. Oh, thank you so much, Pauline Norby, for sharing on Facebook. So I ordered some like sleeves to put my large cardstock. I'm saying large, the 8.5 by 11 cardstock in. I'm hoping that helps keep my cardstock organized without having to leave them in the original plastic bags, just to kind of streamline things while I'm crafting. All right, so ignore all that white cardstock. We're going here with the frayed leaf and doing the same thing, just cutting some A2 panels. And I'll hang on to this as just extra. I will pop it back into my package here. Christine, thank you for liking and sharing. All right, so I will put the rest of that away. And now I think this looks just a little more interesting, doesn't it? I'm trying to think if I want it coming around the leaves like this or arched over. Maybe an arch over would look pretty. So let's scoot this up a little bit. Just because I want it coming over the edge. And we'll leave like space right there. I think if I put the little swing set kind of towards the left, that'll look pretty and it'll give me a little extra space on the end. Sue is like me. She says she always goes for the white cardstock. I'm glad I'm not the only one. It's just my comfort zone. I can't help it. Okay, so now to do my embossing folder for my machine, I need the cutting plate, I need the magnetic shim, I need my folder and the plastic shim. So this is for the Gemini Junior. Please just check the 3D embossing folder for your own machine that you have, because sometimes 2D and 3D have different sandwiches that you use. And I'm just going to send this through off screen. And while this is coming through, if you haven't yet put in the comments, I saw some of you did, where you're from and also what the weather is like by you. I would love to hear about anyone who might be in like the Southern Hemisphere and you have a beautiful sunny day. That would be so nice. Oh my gosh, look at that texture. Oh, it is so awesome. We are already getting a texture takeover over here. That is spectacular. I love it. We could even maybe do some ink blending on here. It'll be fun. We'll see what we have time for, but to take like an ink blending brush and just apply a little bit of ink to bring out some of those areas. But like I said, let's get going on the garden swing, and then we will see what we have time for. But I think that'd be really cool to bring out that texture a little more. Okay, so now we're gonna open this up and pick some colors out for our bench and our swing. And I do want to add some more texture with some paste. Speaking of paste, got some from my experiment all over. Let's check on the experiment. Is this dry yet? Nope. This one's almost dry. All right. Like I said, we'll see if the reveal can happen while I'm live today. Otherwise, we will be waiting. And then I'm going to take out my Mini Blossom die cut machine. I think most or all can fit. Yeah, that was the only one I was worried about. I think everything will be able to fit on the Mini Blossom plates, so I don't need to use my off-screen die cut machine. Oh, Nancy's got cool gray and waiting for rain. 34 where Nina is. 9 degrees this morning. Oh my gosh. Debbie, wish it was warmer. Freezing in North Carolina. Okay, so most of you are in the cold weather like I am. All right, on the back of the packaging, we have the layering guide. So if you want to see this and blow it up close up, you can go online and look at the one in the product listing, and then you'll be able to print it to whatever size you need if that is something that you need to do. I know that sometimes we're squeezing a lot of information onto the packaging, but I'm going to start here with that piece that I just showed you, and let's pick some colors. I think I might just go with grapevine. I think that'll look really pretty. Instead of using like a wood tone for the bench and the frame. And I also need to get just a bit of our satin masking tape, and this is going to help tack everything down as it gets sent through the die cut machine. Excuse me. Okay, so let's get out the pieces that we need for that outer frame. Oh, wait, maybe it doesn't fit. Oh, how did I get that? There we go. I knew I had it fitting. There it is. Okay. So this one goes here, and we also need these, just the little legs. I've got that just fitting as well. Laura's saying she loves the guides for assembly. Me too. Me too. It really helps make everything a little bit easier. And I can say, as someone who designs products, and like this being one of them that I designed, having designed it doesn't automatically mean that I remember how to assemble it, especially since the time between submitting a design and having it like land on my desk is a little more than half a year. Yeah, there's no guarantee that I'm gonna remember how to do it. So I rely on the layering guides too. So it's not just you guys, everyone on the team, designers included, product designers included, all rely on these. And then I need the bench. And this I'll just put onto another piece. And just again, using some tape, thus I'm just peeling off my desk. And then we have a few more pieces that I will include here. Just, do I want to do that little detail topper? I do. Okay, the detail topper. So this will get placed down. And I think that should be up one more. Okay, so one of these has the little flags and tabs and the other doesn't. So the one with the flags, those little extra tabs here, because these two look really similar. This one I'm going to do in probably a different color. And then the ones without the tabs, they're going to go on top. So let's see here. And then number 4, we adhere the piece behind layer 2. Just to keep everything easier, I think I'm just going, I could probably fit it all. I think I'm just going to do all of these in the same color. Ooh, that fits. And then we will pick a different color for the little bench and the pillow. Guys, I don't have a plan. Can you tell? Do I ever? Do I ever have a plan? Sometimes I have a little bit of a plan. Oh, let me get more of that scrap tape. Why am I taking new tape off of the roll when I have scrap tape right here? And just a little bit more. No need for a plan, you guys. And these I will send through with my shim, just to ensure that all of that detail, all of that, those embossing lines, everything gets imprinted just the way I want. Okay, if you are just joining us today, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. We are doing a texture takeover. I've already started by making this amazing textured background. And I hope to add some beautifully textured die cuts to this. And oh, they're looking so dainty and lovely. Okay, now here I am going to hang on to this. Can you see? Please focus. Hello, hello, please focus. There we go. I think that's, nope, it's not focusing. Come on, camera, do your thing. I'm so sorry. There we go. Okay. So what I'm trying to show you here is outside of the die line, we have the little debossed symbols. that show you which goes where. So these correspond to the symbols that are cutouts in the dies themselves, but also on the layering guide. So I'm going to hang on to that portion. I could even just get rid of the rest of this, just so I don't get confused which is which. All right, so let's save all of this. And now we will pop through the others. Making sure everything is where it should be. Let me just re-adhere that because I think I had a little bit of overlap. This is because I want to save cardstock. I don't want to have to get out another little sheet when everything can successfully fit right here. Move this one just a tad. There we go. And Bella Rose is saying hello from Australia. We love your products. That's great to hear. And we love having you use our products. Let's see. Thank you, Jill, for sharing. And Beam Me Up, Scotty. That's a really funny name. Thank you all for sharing. And the sun is shining in British Columbia, Rocky Mountains. That's nice. I'm sure it's cold, but nice that you have sun. Okay, I'm just sending this through the die cut machine. And yeah, I'm crazy. I put the shim on top. I just have an easier time if it's on top and not in my sandwich. Yes, it gets warped, but then after I send it through, I just fix where it's warped. Those pops you hear are the suction cup feet. They are pretty strong, I have to say. So now we have all of those pieces. So pretty. I might be regretting my decision to make the strings the same color as everything else. So I think I might just take a marker and color them in black. I couldn't really decide before, you guys. All right, I'm just popping out the little centers here. And if you look, one of the pieces here also has a little debossing that shows where that piece goes in the layering guide. So I will hang on to that as well. And now it's just a matter of popping everything out and popping out all those details. These pieces I'm just going to stick back on the side of my desk to save for another time. And this is the Perfect Picker tool, which, as someone who absolutely obsesses with die cutting, and I die cut a lot, like especially layered die cuts, I use this all the time. I feel like I should have a second one just in case I ever lose it or something happens to it. I would hope that doesn't happen, but these little tiny pieces over here. Okay, let's get them looking good, looking good. All right, this is excess, so I'll put all the trash pieces over here. I'll discard them later. This I will clean up off screen. You guys don't need to watch me do that. And now I'm just getting all the other pieces. Oh, it's so fun to be finally putting this together after having only done it digitally when it was being designed. And I'm curious if you guys are crafters who lean towards lots of texture in your projects, or if, like me, you are simple, clean, many times making 1 or 2 layer projects. There's nothing bad about that. I don't want anybody to think when I say like, oh, I need to get out of my creative rut, I need to do more, I need to add texture and more layers and more embellishments. I love being a clean and simple card maker. That's my style because it's my aesthetic. It's something that I really, really love looking at and creating. However, I also think it's important as an artist to stretch that creativity and try things that aren't in my comfort zone and wheelhouse. And maybe I can keep texture in my style. Like, we'll see how this goes today. I am absolutely regretting this green with the grapevine. I might have to switch this back to white in the end. You know, so I can't always get out of my comfort zone successfully. But we try, we experiment, we learn, and we grow. So this is my way of doing that, of learning and growing. And I've had plenty of failed experiments on these lives. If you've been with me since the beginning, or even just probably within the last couple of weeks, you've probably seen me make a decision that I wasn't completely happy with. And again, that is how we grow as crafters. That is how we become better at this thing that we all love doing. And I feel like I am better for it. So now we have all of these pieces. I did not yet cut the little bench cushion, and I did not yet cut the little like greenery arch. I may not even use that, the greenery arch and all of the flowers. We will see where this is headed. But at this point, I just want to start assembling my my bench, my swing. All right, let me put something behind here just so that it's a little bit easier for you to see those pieces. We've got a lot of dark pieces on a dark background. I don't want to lose track of any of these. So let's get them onto this white cardstock and continue on. Okay. So now looking at the layering guide, and by the way, I am using liquid glue for this. For little tiny fiddly die cuts, I think liquid glue is easier. If I'm doing something bigger, I do just use glue tape. I'm happy using glue tape. Or if I want even more dimension for our texture takeover, I can also incorporate some foam tape. But let me look over here, and I know I want to start with this largest piece, and then I want to put on these little chains, ropes, whatever it is that's keeping this on. So at this point, I can make a decision, and I do think I want to try to make this black. So let's get a marker, either black or maybe just, yeah, let's do black. Okay, so this is just a regular black artist marker. And I am coloring just where those are, black. Okay, these ones I actually didn't need. They are for the second option if you are just having the bench hang from the sprig. So here we go, and one more. Just making that black. I'm not worried about making the whole thing black because that's going to get covered anyway. Regina says she really loves this die. Me too. Okay, so let's look at these cutouts. So I have the little snowman cutout here and here. So I'm going to start right there because I will line those just like this. You see that little snowman hole is lined up. And now I will take the next one. This is the hat. That's what I call it, the little hat, tall hat. Yes, definitely better I made that black. You could see now that there is actually definition on those little chains. All right, and there is that next piece. Okay, so following along, I'm going to add that little topper. This, I'm going to add some foam tape. And here is just the more narrow foam tape. You guys, I'm looking at my time and I think we're off for another another edition of Jen doesn't finish her projects in time. That's okay, right? No worries. Okay, so let's just do that with a bit of foam tape. Ooh, I'm seeing a suggestion by Tracy. She wants to see reversible Telon tweezers and a navy artist marker from Altenew. Okay, navy artist marker, I understand. Telon tweezers. Oh, Teflon. Oh, Teflon tweezers. Okay. And then the like cross ones, you mean like the, when you say reversible, you mean like the ones that work like this? Yes? Okay. All right, now since I am adding foam tape here, when I put those legs on, they are also going to need foam tape just so that they're at the same height. You will see when I get there, but I'm lining up my two reference points. Those are the snowman and the hat. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Oh, I always go out first. Okay. Maybe this helps a little bit. Okay, so I just added that layer. Let me look at the other comments about the tweezers. Yes to the tweezers. Oh, Tracy's auto spelled in another language. Yeah, that's fine. Michelle says she likes designs, but not for a lot of assembly. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right. If that is your thing, doing assembly, I like it. I love all the detail of the dies. I love our creative cuts. And that they have a lot of dies that include lots of layers. But if that's not your thing, then yeah, don't do it. All right, next up, after I add that topper here, is I'm going to add this piece behind this piece. Okay, it says layer behind, just like that. So let me put a little bit of glue right here. And like I said before, we always add the instructions in text if it's not clear in the image. So this one goes here, lined up with that little arrow. And let's get that leg behind. And this one goes on top here. So now you can see it's starting to come together. We've got a nice little bench forming. Just going to hold that down for a second so that the glue can adhere. Okay, so now I'm going to take the next little section right over here, and I'm going to put it on top like that, just right here. My phone is making a lot of noise, and I have a feeling it might be my mom calling. She always calls while I'm doing my live. I think I said it last week. I never expect her to remember when I'm live, right? Who would expect that? But it's just funny. She bowls on Tuesdays in a bowling league. And I think when she gets home from bowling, she's just like, oh, let me call Jen. Okay, so we have that one on there. Now I need to cut the cushion for the bench. So let's go back over here. Oh, yeah, I'm hating this. I am absolutely going to switch to white cardstock background. Oh, can I salvage this? Can I cut around it maybe and use the leaves and make them green? Let's do it. You guys, let's do it. I've got to stay true to myself, but I also need to do something I wouldn't normally do. So let's cut this out. We're adding more texture. I'm hoping I don't finish this live and look at this and just like hate it. Fun fact, I have finished lives and just been so sad about what I've made. I'm hoping this doesn't go that way. Okay, so let's cut out this little inner section. We'll leave the outer section to be green. Let's see how that works. Yeah, and with the time I'm looking at it, guys, I'm never going to finish. But look, we're getting good texture. I'm fulfilling my challenge prompt. Making sure to have texture on my project. If you are just joining us, yes, I've been I've been a crafter for many years, and I still don't have a solid plan when I do these lives. It's just the way it is. It's just who I am. Take it or leave it. Okay, before I fussy cut all of this, let's just see where this is headed. And if I don't like where this is headed, I'm not even going to waste my time cutting the rest of it. And I'll just do the embossing folder on the white. I don't know. It might be cool. Let's keep going. Let's keep cutting. So just trying to do this as swiftly as I can so you guys just aren't stuck watching me fussy cut. And I think that should be pretty good. I can cut around the outer edge too. I don't want to cut too much like in here because this is going to get way too delicate with all those little pieces, but I can cut just enough. So it looks like we've got some nice greenery in the background. I'm going to say you guys all better tune in next week so you can see the dramatic conclusion of this project. I might completely change my plan depending on how this embossed background goes. I'm loving the bench swing. Okay, that's at least a positive. I love how that is coming out right now, and I cannot wait to have it all completed. And yeah, I think once I know what's going on with the background, then I can make a decision about the color of the cushion. Tracy, you know me so well. She's like, can you shift the swing to the right so you have your precious white space? Yeah. Or can I just cut off some of this and not use all of it? Right? Like, let's imagine all of this. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. It's like a race against the clock now. How much can I get done before this live is over? 15 minutes left. I do have to say I love customizing things as I craft. For example, this beautiful embossing folder is meant to be a large image, but who says you have to keep the whole image? I'm just gonna like get rid of this. I don't need that part. Right? Your products are yours to do what you wish. You're not violating anything. The designers, myself included, the people who make these products and design these products for you, we are not going to care if you cut the design in half because that's what suits your project and your needs. So have at it. Okay. Now it's like barely any green. All right, let's cut off some of this top and let's get back to the bench. Any suggestions for what color that cushion should be? I think maybe I'm just going to do a random color and then use my shimmer relief paste to add texture to it. So it looks like it's kind of fluffy. What do you think about that? As I think out loud. Oh, thank you, Mitzi, for adding the link to the fine blade scissors. Those are these thin scissors that I'm using to fussy cut right now. And there, this can just go right here. Does that make my clean and simple heart a little bit happier? I think it does. That's what I needed, was white space. Okay. So after the live, I am going to cut out some of these insides. Remember, not all of them, because I don't want this to be too delicate, but you know, in some of these areas, I'm going to cut that. Let's add some color to these. And this is the number 10 detail blending brush that I'm going to use. Michelle says make the cushion navy or deep coral. Oh, that would be pretty. If I think of my shimmer relief paste colors, I could definitely use this deep, beautiful blue. This is the Galactic Skies. I think I need something lighter though, just because the wooden areas is so dark with that grapevine cardstock. Maybe I'll use the silver. And if I put texture on it, that might be cool. All right, so let's grab that. Let me also take out my palette knives. Let's see what I can get done before time runs out. Okay, so let's take this. And I think I'm actually going to use a thinner brush, not the number 10. Let's go for the number 5. Okay, so this is another detailed blending brush. I'm going to take some greens that might go well with this. I'm going to go with the more neutral greens. So even though this is a warmer green, warmer meaning more yellow toned, I'm going to do a little bit more neutral in my blending. So this is Sweet Leaf. Yeah, I think having that slightly cooler tone is going to just look nice here. And I'm just gently blending this on just to add a little bit of dimension to those leaves and make them look a little bit more textured. So when I said before, you could add texture in many different ways. Adding ink blending is a different type of texture because it's varied, right? We have areas that are darker, areas that are a little bit lighter. So it's like color texture, if that makes sense. And I don't think I'm going to have time to finish this either. So remember, you're going to come back next week so you can see what this all looks like when I'm done, this mystery project. Okay, just a little bit, just to show you where this is headed, to bring out that texture of the leaves. I'm just being real gentle and swirling that color on. I can also use the Morning Mist if I want slightly less contrast. Or I could use the Just Green to make it a little bit more intense. Using the brush actually almost makes it look like it is airbrushed, but not like smooth airbrushing where you still see some of those specks. I actually think that's really cute. Okay, so you can see here as I go through just layering that on, it's adding a little bit more texture to these leaves. And I don't have to do all of them in the same intensity, just a little bit here or there. Okay, keeping eyes on the time. We've got less than 10 minutes. If you haven't shared and you would like to be considered for that $15 certificate to the Altenew store, please share us really soon, because at the end of the live, we are going to randomly select somebody and they will be the winner of that $15 gift certificate. And if you'd like to play along with us, please do. Just create a project that uses texture and share it with hashtag Altenew Challenge Live. Okay, so I will finish the rest of these later, but you've got the idea. That's just adding a little bit of vibrance and color to this. Okay, so here we go now. Use your imagination. All of these leaves would be colored in. These areas would be cut out. Now we've got the bench. And now I need to add some more texture with the seat. So let's do the seat in the same color. And then I'm going to add some shimmer relief paste. It doesn't matter what color I do if I'm going to add the paste on top of that anyway. So this long one right here is the cushion for the bench. I am getting so many messages. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's not my mom, surprisingly. Yes, Miss Blue says the hashtag in any social media. As long as it is published either publicly, or if you are part of our Altenew Facebook fan group, you could just do a quick search of the fan group. And if you use the hashtag there, that actually makes it the easiest for me to find. But yeah, if it's a private account and you use the hashtag, unfortunately, I won't be able to see it. Oh, a sunrise or a sunset in the background. That's a great idea. Okay. So let's see what we can wrap up in the next few minutes. Oh, yes. Thank you, Mitzi, for that reminder. You can publish in the Altenew Crafters Gallery as well. So there's a link to that down below in the comments. Okay, so here's where things are going to get a little messy. I'm going to get a palette knife. Doesn't matter which one. I'll just take this small one here. This is just a palette knife set. And here we have the silver shimmer relief paste. So pretty. And here I'm going to smooth this on. Oh, I love how you could kind of see, if I do it thin, you can see that cardstock behind it. I am going to cover it up though, but that would also look pretty. And I'm putting on a pretty thick layer right now because I want to add texture. I did this a couple of months ago on a different live project where I wanted to make it look like there was a couch with texture, and it looked really cool. And I haven't done that technique again since. So here we go. Oh my gosh, my phone has to stop making noise. Whoever's messaging me, please stop. Okay, let's put that here. Yikes. And I'm off screen. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to use the back of the knife to add this pretty texture. You can make this as subtle or as textured as you want. I don't want mine too textured, but you could layer this stuff up. It will dry, okay? It might take a while to dry, but it will dry. So don't feel like you have to limit to yourself. If you're using the relief paste to add texture, you can put in as much as you like. Now, right here where I was holding on to it, I'm just going to cover a little bit more. Off it goes, pop, pop. And then I'm going to let this dry for quite a while. Okay, so here we go. There is the texture. So it's just kind of like a cushioned bench seat that has some pretty texture on it. Just like that. Okay. I'll have to use a different background because I did just get some paste on that. All right, well, this has been a chaotic one, hasn't it? Let me zoom you up a little bit so you could see some of the aftermath, craftermath. Okay, we've got a mess happening. That's a sign of a fun session. Yes, clean your palette knife off right away. It does come off when it sets. It is easier if you clean it when it's wet. When it's wet, I could just do this. I don't even really need to do much else, just a little bit of water, and that'll get it off. Now, let's do a little bit of a recap because, like I said, this has been a lot of stuff going on. So I'm completely rethinking my life when it comes to this background. Don't be surprised if you see plain white cardstock next week that is embossed with that folder. I love the folder. I love the idea of the greenery swooping around. I just can't get myself to figure out how I want it using this light green color. Maybe I'll keep at it and I'll figure out a way to make it look right with the swing. But I've got this great bench now, this little bench seat. It's going to go on there. That's going to add texture. So we'll have an embossed background. We'll have the layer die cuts, which is texture. And we'll have the embossing relief paste, the shimmer relief paste. That's also adding texture. So that's 3 bits of texture for me. Hey, I might even add some pearls or enamel dots. That's more texture. So that is what the idea is for this challenge. Let me pop you up. Here we go. Good to see you again. Like I said, it's been a wild journey. I like it. I don't know where it's headed. We will see. This is a like total work in progress. And I am excited to kind of hone this in, get it the way I want it, but making sure I incorporate some good texture into that card. And what I want you guys to do on your own is figure out how you can incorporate texture into your next project. Make sure that you use the hashtag Altenew Challenge Live so that we can find it. And somebody is going to get featured next week. In addition to that person who gets featured next week and wins a prize, I'm also going to share the big finale, how this card comes out. So I know you're going to be on the edge of your seats all week seeing what happens here. But I am welcoming and inviting you guys back to join that journey with me. And I know there were plenty of comments today that I missed. Like I'm deep in it today in the crafting, and I was not looking at my computer much. So if there were any comments addressed to me that I missed, I will do my best to go back in and add a reply to you so that you could get that answered. But that's pretty much it. Let me just see if there's anything last minute that I missed. But like I said, I will go back into that after the live is done. And I really just hope all of you feel inspired to get crafty in your own space. If you don't have time to finish your textured, wonderful project, you can also submit a work in progress. Just make sure to snap a picture of it, say it's a work in progress that you're submitting for the challenge, include that hashtag, and you will also be considered to win and be featured next week. All right, well, I hope you guys stay warm if you are in a cold, icy, snowy part of the country / world. And if you have good weather, I'm jealous. I hope you all have an amazing and crafty day. Bye-bye.